first in-person Commissioners Court meeting since COVID started, and that's really a testament to each and every resident of this community who's done their part. I think it's safe to say at this point we've avoided the very worst of COVID, which so many other communities did have to face. Their hospitals being overwhelmed. We got very close to that, but we never crossed that line. And our numbers have continued to trend in the right direction to where we were able to return to normalcy in this sense. So we still have a little ways to go. We are seeing now over 55% of the vaccine eligible population has gotten at least one shot. Over 44% of the vaccine eligible population in Harris County is fully vaccinated. Our trends are all looking great. Our case numbers are trending upwards a little bit, so that's really what's keeping us from moving to green from yellow. But overall, I'm very proud of where we are, and I think today's is a day to really celebrate. The other piece of unique news, important news that we got done today at Commissioners Court is an item on worker safety. You hear and you see the sights and the sounds of construction all throughout Harris County, whether it is our detention basins, our winding of our channels, flood control work, or simply constructing new roads, new buildings. That's going on all the time. Some studies say up to 1 in 7 workers, construction workers, get hurt on the job. And so in Harris County, we have over the past 2.5 years taken initiatives to try and keep construction workers safer. Today, we committed $1 million so that we can provide training, OSHA training, to all construction workers in Harris County. And what happens is there are safety standards, but oftentimes the contractors do not have the funding, are simply, there's just no way to enforce for them to actually provide the training. So we're saying the county is going to provide it, and that way all of the workers and the folks, even that works for contractors, can get appropriately trained, and that way we can reduce the risk of injury among the folks, the incredible folks that build this county. So anything else?
Yeah, you had 2 items on the agenda about the GLO situation. Where do we stand with that as far as trying to get additional funds from the state?
What we know is that Harris County and the city of Houston were the hardest hit areas from Hurricane Harvey. We had the most deaths. We had the most structures flooded. Over half of all the deaths from Harvey and over half of all the structures impacted were here in Harris County. And so we deserve an adequate amount of funding for flood resilience. The GLO committed $750 million to Harris County after initially having awarded us 0. Now, that's a big step, and I've spoken to Commissioner Bush about that. Now, the next step is we need to make sure that the federal government, HUD, approves that. That's number 1. And number 2, we need to make sure that the city of Houston also receives a share of the funding. Of course, Harris County wants to compete for even more of those funds. We believe we deserve at least $1 billion, but $750 million is a good start. I simply want to ensure, and I've been in touch with the mayor on this, that we say, okay, that's a good start, but the city of Houston needs its $1 billion. We were expecting and deserve $1 billion, and we just need to continue working with Mayor Turner, with the GLO, and with HUD on all of this.
What concerns you most right now about the COVID situation in Harris County?
Right now, the one concern, and I do want to put this into context. I mean, we're doing so much better. Our hospitalization trends are going down. Our percentage of patients in the ICU who are COVID positive are going down. Our positivity rate is going down. The concern is that amongst the unvaccinated population, that folks will stop taking the precautions they need to take, and they will continue to spread the virus. The other concern, and this is perhaps the most significant, is the wanting to make sure people continue to get vaccinated. 55% of the vaccine eligible population having received at least 1 shot, that's big progress, but we still have a ways to go to where we can say, okay, we've beat this virus. So to that end, today we approved an agreement for an all-out, what we're calling a ground assault, a ground war against this virus, where we're going to be sending a lot more resources into communities to do door knocking, to send information, help people understand how to get vaccinated, the importance of vaccination all throughout Harris County. That's on top of the work we've been doing with a media campaign, with mobile vaccination sites, with free transportation to our massive NRG site, with incentives for folks who get vaccinated. So I just want to make sure folks keep in mind two things. First, get vaccinated, and second, if you're not yet vaccinated, remember that you're not immune to the virus. And so we don't want you spreading that virus amongst you and other folks who are also not vaccinated, and we need you to take precautions until you receive the vaccine.
One of the bills that the legislature passed right at the end of the session was a ban on homeless encampments. Now, obviously, this was something that was aimed in large part at Austin, but it's going to affect Houston. It's going to affect Harris County. How is the county planning on enforcing this?
We're looking into that. Obviously, we're still trying to see, what all is going to be signed by the governor, understand the legal implications of the bills that do become law, and then based on that, we'll take our policy considerations. But I'll say the city of Houston and Harris County have made enormous steps to tackle homelessness. Just this past year, we invested over $50 billion in a joint program to help folks experiencing homelessness find permanent housing, and we're right now evaluating that program, trying to see what worked, what didn't, and really, apply a paradigm shift in the sense of how do we tackle homelessness and really be evidence-based and smart, and I think that involves using, smart tools, not blunt tools, but we'll just have to see what the legal implications of the governor's or of the legislative bill is.